$240 to $360 in the form of a new stimulus check recently introduced by a handful of lawmakers. I have the proof and I have all the details for you in this video. Let's get into it right now. But if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video as you watch these videos so that you can get the honest, accurate, reliable, and transparent information each and every day. As I'm watching everything closely, I'm doing all the research, and I'm breaking it all down into these short videos so that you can get the latest details hot off the wire each and every day, and so I can keep you updated with all of this information as it is changing very, very rapidly. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the video. Alright, so late last week, a few different proposals hit the table to actually send out direct payments to the American people, especially those people who are lower income and struggling so much right now with the rapidly rising prices of food, oil, gas, and essentially everything else that we are dealing with right here, right now, with all of this massive, massive inflation. Well, late last week, I came out and I talked about this proposal, this one that was introduced by this small handful of lawmakers, and I wanted to come back, lay it all out for you, give you the final details on this thing, as well as share with you exactly where I'm getting this information from. Now, as of recently, over the last couple of days here, I have seen a few comments down below saying, hey, where do you even get this information from? Do you just make this stuff up? No, I can assure you I do not make any of this stuff up, but rather in this video, I'm going to give you the exact proof of exactly where I got this information from so you can hear it all for yourself. I am here for you to bring you the information, as I've said before in previous videos, and as I've mentioned down in the comments section, I'm literally reporting the news. That's literally what I do. So I do tons of research every day. I find all of these different articles and pieces of information. I break it down and I try to deliver it as quickly as possible in these videos because honestly, I want to be respectful of your time. So anyway, let's get right to it right here really quickly and run through the key takeaways out of this really fast here. All right, so first off, this was introduced last week on Thursday by a small handful of lawmakers, including Ro Khanna, Sheldon Whitehouse, Bernie Sanders, and a few other people. So I'll get to that here more in just a second. All right, next, this is calling on a $240 quarterly stimulus check, direct check, for individuals, and $360, again, quarterly for married couples. Now, let me clarify for just a second. This is quarterly. The amount that I just said is it's an annual amount, but yet it'd be distributed on a quarterly basis. So I kind of makes that make sense. So the 240 is basically what you'd get over the course of the year, and the 360 is the amount you'd get over the course of the entire year, but rather it'd be broken down and sent out in quarterly payments, if that makes sense. Anyway, just wanted to clarify so we're all on the same page here. Anyway, this is all being pegged off of the rapidly rising oil prices. However, last Monday, oil prices hit over $130 per barrel. Well, as of just yesterday, we were down below $100 per barrel. So basically in 1 week's time, oil lost $30 per barrel in value. So again, that's kind of actually a good thing. Generally, we want to see prices go up on, equities and stocks and stuff like that. But for the most part, when it comes to oil, we want to see it as close to zero as possible, because that just means less that we pay at the pump when we go to fill up our cars, as well as essentially on everything else that we buy out there at the stores, because it's being transported by diesel, by gas, things like this. So ultimately, it's all related to gas and transportation energy prices. So kind of hope that makes sense. But anyway, basically with this proposal, they're calling on these large oil producers and gas producers like ExxonMobil, these big people, the multi-billion-dollar corporations who import or produce more than 300,000 barrels of oil each and every day, to pay essentially a 50% tax on any oil price per barrel of oil, basically between the average of 2015 and 2019 up until the average price as of today, implementing that 50% tax, and then basically rolling that back out in the form of direct checks to the American people in the form of stimulus checks. So anyway, that's kind of a brief description right there, but I have talked about this previously in other videos. But with that being said, I want to bring my wife in, Corey, where she's going to read an article to you and read exactly the information from where this is coming from, so you can see see the exact proof of all this information. So I just want you to know, I bring you the information. I literally bring you the news. That's exactly what I do right here. Just like a few other guys here on YouTube, we're all basically doing the same thing. So we're all looking at the news, we're all looking at the information that's being released, and we break it down into these short videos, and that's exactly what I do here on this channel as well. So again, I just want to prove it to you that I don't make this stuff up. I literally bring you the information that I find. So with that being said, make sure you're subscribed down below if you haven't done so yet. Totally free to do so, and I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be during this very busy time. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other videos here on the channel with your friends, family, social media after you get done watching this one. But anyway, enough out of me. Let's bring Corey in, my wife. She'll read this article to you. It's only a couple minutes long here, and you can see exactly the information that I've been talking about here, and you can see where all this is coming from. So anyway, Corey, take it away, and I'll catch you again later in the next one. All right, Corey, it's all you, and I'll see you soon. See ya.
Democrats unveil plan to issue quarterly checks to Americans by taxing oil companies posting huge profits. By Joseph Zeballos-Rogg. Democrats roll out a plan to issue quarterly checks to Americans paid for with big oil profits. The bigger thing is that it's going to save everyone money, said Representative Ro Khanna in an interview. The proposal faces steep odds for passage, giving GOP resistance. Democrats introduced a bill on Thursday to tax the largest oil companies, which are recording their biggest profits in years, and use the money to provide quarterly checks to Americans facing sticker shock just about everywhere they look. The legislation would apply only to large firms like ExxonMobil that produce or export over 300,000 oil barrels a day and exempt smaller companies. The 50% tax would be imposed on the difference between the current price of a barrel and the average price between 2015 and 2019. Ro Khanna of California and Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island are the bill's main sponsors. Co-sponsors include Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, Michael Bennet, and Sherrod Brown. The plan would also establish a quarterly payment program to provide direct payments to Americans struggling with rising prices. The income thresholds in the bill are similar to those of the third stimulus check issued last year. Individual tax filers making under $75,000 and couples making $150,000 a year would receive the payments. At $120 a barrel, singular filers would receive $240 a year, and joint filers would get $360. The bigger thing is that it's going to save everyone money, Khanna said in an interview. If you're big oil and you look at this, you're not going to want to pay this tax, and so you're going to be willing to lower prices. The plan faces long odds to become law. Republicans are opposed to tax hikes, and centrist Democrats may balk at the measure as well. A spokesperson for Joe Manchin's office didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Energy prices are spiking in the aftermath of the Russian invasion of Ukraine because of traders shunning Russian oil, which cuts one of the largest oil producers out of the global market. Climbing prices promoted firms like ExxonMobil and Chevron to report their biggest profits in years, even before the Kremlin embarked on its military campaign. The average cost of gasoline reached $4.31 a gallon on Thursday, according to AAA. It's likely to creep up further with the U.S. imposing a ban on all Russian energy imports to punish Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is a step that we're taking to inflict further pain on Putin, but there will be costs as well here in the United States, President Joe Biden said Tuesday. But Americans are seeing prices surge across the board, not just when they refill their gas tanks. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released a report Thursday showing prices rose 7.9% compared with a year ago, particularly for furniture, chicken, new cars, and steak. Inflation accelerated to its fastest pace in 4 decades. Democrats are eyeing ways to cut costs for families by establishing affordable childcare and reining in prescription drug costs, among other new domestic programs. Yet the bulk of their economic agenda is stalled because of resistance from Republicans and Manchin, a Democrat holdout. In the short run, Democrats have floated suspending the 18 cents a gallon federal gas tax to provide some help at the pump, but that seems unlikely to overcome strong Republican resistance as well.